The future of red light cameras, a big debate at the Florida Capitol. A special program assisting veterans at Florida State is getting recognition at the White House.
The rain from this morning is long gone. When will rain return? I'll tell you in the forecast.
This is ABC 27 HD's News at 11.
Tonight, red light cameras could get the red light if some state lawmakers have their way. Good evening, I'm Russell Motley. Thanks for joining us. Bills in both the House and the Senate could repeal a year-old law allowing cities to fine drivers $158 if they're caught running a red light on camera. But now some state lawmakers are hoping to put a stop to it. ABC 27's Mika Highsmith looks at both sides of this debate.
Run on red and get a ticket.
You're supposed to stop.
But now some state lawmakers are hoping to put the brakes on red light cameras.
We can't compromise our rights for temporary safety.
According to the city, red light cameras are at 6 intersections throughout the city, averaging about 40 violations a day. But now, just like the actual recording device, their fate up in the air. Two bills repealing the red light camera law now in the House and Senate. If passed, these cameras would be outlawed.
In Florida, road watch is you!
Proponents of the bill, like this group of protesters outside of the old Capitol, say as it stands now, red light cameras cause more accidents, make the roads even less safe for motorcyclists, and violate constitutional rights.
It presumes that you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent.
Robert Maddox contesting a ticket right now, an option he says isn't even offered until you're late with payment.
It's like it traps people into this thing of, well, you know, if I contest this, then I'm going to be having to pay $100 more than I'd have to pay if I just went ahead and paid it now. And it really encourages people to just roll over.
It's about money. It's not so much about safety.
While those in favor of red light cameras claim they save lives, changing driving habits.
To try and repeal it now, I think it's short-sighted. And I think although folks may not like getting a ticket, it's an easy way not to get the ticket, and that's not to run the red light.
Representative Alan Williams says these cameras haven't even been in operation for a full year, and he's against pulling them out now. These citizens, however, have their own agenda.
Ban the cams!
A message getting some approval from drivers. They're now hoping state lawmakers are listening. Mika Highsmith, ABC 27 HD.
A bill keeping the public away from photos, video, or audio recordings of people being killed has passed a Florida Senate committee today. The legislation would only let family members see or hear the evidence. Supporters of the bill say it will protect families from reliving the death of their loved one. But people against the bill use the example of 14-year-old Martin Lee Anderson, whose questionable death was caught on camera at a Florida boot camp. State boot camps for juveniles were later closed. Governor Rick Scott putting the pressure on lawmakers to approve his plan to make state workers contribute to their pensions. Right now, the state fully funds those pensions, but the governor wants them moved into a 401k retirement plan. The governor speaking at a news conference today for the newly formed group Floridians for Sustainable Pensions. Scott says he wants all state employees to contribute 5% of their salaries to their retirement plans. But the House is proposing a 3% contribution, and the Senate has a tiered system. The governor says lawmakers should stick with his plan.
I don't think they go far enough. I think that all new employees need to go to a defined contribution plan.
I don't think it's fair that in the middle of my 31 years they want to change the retirement plan. I'm almost ready to retire, and basically I won't have enough money to even retire.
Governor Scott says the existing pension system is unsustainable, and it could lead to more cuts to government jobs if not changed. But unions for state employees say the Florida retirement system is one of the healthiest retirement systems in the nation. Governor Scott tonight also addressing cuts he ordered in payments to caregivers of the developmentally disabled. The governor is now saying if the legislature steps in, he'll rescind his cut in payments to those who take care of the disabled. This is the kind of pushback the governor received from the developmentally disabled, their families, and caregivers last week after the announcement was made. Now, they protested at the Capitol, saying the cuts would cause group homes to close and lay off caregivers. Today, Governor Scott spoke to state employees at the Agency for Persons with Disabilities.
We have a choice. The legislature will either provide us the funding or continue with this executive order. If they provide us the funding, then we'll withdraw the executive order and be able to go back in the rates that we're paying providers.
The House has appropriated money in their budget to plug the gap. The Senate president last week said he too may be willing to approve the emergency spending. A controlled substance bill in Georgia aimed at the makers of methamphetamine is passed and ready for the governor's signature. House members passed the bill today and it's already passed the Senate. If Governor Nathan Deal signs it, the legislation would reclassify a key ingredient of meth, pseudoephedrine. The decongestant would then only be available for sale in pharmacies, including over-the-counter cold medicines with the ingredient.
With a clear sky and dry air across the region, our temperatures have been falling all evening, and it's almost kind of like we stepped back a few weeks. Now we're seeing temperatures in the 60s on our way to the 50s and 40s overnight. With high pressure moving in behind this morning's front, that did spread some clouds and a few areas of rain across the region. But tomorrow morning, going to the bus stop will not have to worry about rainfall or puddles on the walkways because it'll be dry and rainless. Also kind of chilly with temperatures near 50. Afternoon readings warming up, and we'll talk more about that in just a moment. A Florida State University program that supports veterans with disabilities is getting the White House treatment. It's called the Entrepreneurship Boot Camp for Veterans with Disabilities. The boot camp is designed to open the door to business ownership to America's veterans by providing cutting-edge training and small business management skills. Today, the boot camp was represented at the White House during the launch of a new national initiative called Joining Forces, which is spearheaded by Michelle Obama and Jill Biden. The Joining Forces initiative builds on President Obama's directive to develop a comprehensive federal approach to support military families. Florida State is one of 7 collegiate partners in the boot camp. A Leon County worker is being honored tonight for his heroic efforts to save 2 people from a burning car. Robert Jones doesn't like the spotlight and says he did what any human being would do to help someone else. ABC 27's Patty Santos reports.
Robert Jones makes sure his vehicles always have a fire extinguisher and a pry bar. This after a quiet drive back to his office at the Leon County Public Works office turned into a race against time.
I seen the car overturned. I pulled up actually on it and I looked and I seen a man hanging out of the back window. And then I realized, how serious it was.
On January 28th, Jones drove up to a single car crash along Miccosukee Road near Crump Road.
It was smoldering when we got there. It wasn't actually engulfed in flames. But when we saw we couldn't control that part of it, it was, try to do what we could to get people out.
Leon County Sheriff investigators say he was one of 5 other Good Samaritans to help with the rescue. 2 people were killed in the crash, 2 others survived. The car was engulfed in flames and a gun inside made the scene more dangerous.
Everybody knows gunshots and they was starting to go off and we were trying to get back.
After the crash, Jones simply went back to work and didn't tell anyone about the rescue. But his supervisor, Tony Park, found out about it and nominated him for a Heroism Award given only once before in county history.
I felt it was very important to recognize our employees when they do something heroic like Robert Jones did for Leon County and the citizens of our community.
On Tuesday, Leon County commissioners applauded Jones' work. Jones doesn't like the attention. He says he simply did what anyone else in his shoes would have done. In Leon County, Patty Santos, ABC 27 HD.
Martin Green, the other person involved in the rescue, will be honored during the commissioners' next meeting. The Special Olympic torch will continue moving through our area this week. Tomorrow morning, the torch run will go through Gretna. Law enforcement officers will help carry the torch through town. And then on Thursday, the torch will make its way through Wakulla County. New homes are announced for the Space Shuttle fleet, where each shuttle will spend its retirement after the space program is over.